in our country. The soil of Akhisar is productive, its air is clean, and it is a beautiful place, and we are making many important investments to bring Akhisar to the level it deserves. And one other project we inaugurate for this end is Akhisar Beltway. It is located in Istanbul-Izmir route, and the load of heavy traffic was on city center before the project was complete. But this beltway of 13 kilometers will be ridding our region of this heavy traffic load, and it will also ensure an uninterrupted flow of traffic. The gradually opened beltway and other sections of the project that were completed before will now fully be open for service, and this will be reducing the traveling time by half, and it will save us 56 million liras in fuel, and it will contribute to the cost effectiveness of the region, of the whole project. And over the past 18 years, with many other fields in transportation, we have started an investment mobilization, as we believe that transportation is one of the most important fields of our lives. And we have now increased the length of divided roads up to 27,000 kilometers. And we have built 410 tunnels. Even though the number of the vehicles in traffic has increased, thanks to the infrastructure projects, the number of traffic accidents have been significantly decreased, and it has now been more comfortable and cost-effective for our citizens to travel. This goes the same for our railways. We have been further spreading the railway lines, fast speed, the train lines, and we have increased the capacity of our infrastructure. And every crisis we face show how critical the importance of the infrastructure is. In the face of the pandemic, we have once again understood how important the infrastructure for healthcare and transportation is. As our industrial areas grew, the importance of logistics and industrial zones have become more clear. And a similar picture is the case for many areas of our country, including trade and education. And the biggest sources of pride for us to take is such inauguration ceremonies where we open great projects for use. And Rumi said, those who do not build one structure in this world will have nothing for their share in the afterworld. And therefore, we are trying our best to work relentlessly day and night to leave certain great works to this world. And those who lack this ability spend their time with insults, threats, and dissension. As we always reiterate, our politics is politics of service, politics of serving the nation and adorning the country with projects. Because other than that, everything will foam down like the foam of a soap. And with God's will, until our last breath, we will continue to work and serve our nation with the love of serving that we have for our nation. You see how beautiful these roads are. And now this is a very large beltway with 2 lines on each, and the risk of traffic accidents has almost been brought down to 0. and the roads are now larger, and it's more comfortable to travel over those roads. Maybe every trouble, every fight, every atrocity, every maybe dispute can be explained, but having enmity against investment or having hostility against investments can never be understood. There is a mindset that defames our country just because we are making investment, and the same mindset, those people who have the same mindset never refrain from using the same lies or slanders or insults when we are investing. And the only concern of this dirty mindset is to make our country collapse economically. And the main party who does that is the main opposition party, CHP. For them, what matters is that the investors should not come. But is there a color or a religion or an ethnicity for investments? If the investment is coming from Europe, it's okay for them, but when it comes from Qatar, it's a problem for them. And CHP is the party that does that all the time. And from the past to our day, what CHP has done all the time was to hinder and impede our progress. And they had accounts and calculations to make our country go back rather than progress. There are some who open wars and fronts against our country, and they are trying to cover that up with some claims of protecting the country. However, it is undisputable how important the investments are. Almost all developed countries are the countries which managed to attract international investors, because no country or no region in the world can materialize a large-scale investment and development move without the participation of international investment. And in our country, we almost have made a public investment of $508 billion over the past decade almost, and the international investment made into our country is about 220 billion. So almost half of our own public investments was made by international investors. Of course, this figure is still not sufficient. I wish this figure was 2 or 3 or 4 and even 5, 10 times higher than that, because every penny brought in by the international investors is an additional value to your acts of development or projects of development. Let's say that there are many projects, many investments made into our country. No one is going to take those away from the country. The investors only care about their investments, and when they are done with their operations, they transfer it to one other investor and leaves. But there are some people who want to deprive our country of such potential investors. And alongside many attacks that our country endured, many traps also were laid in front of us in the field of economy, but they still failed. Those people. Yes, we, on the other hand, faced difficulties, challenges. We had some loss, and we are facing such loss, but thank God we have the decisiveness, the power, and the resoluteness to uphold our values. As long as we stand together and resilient, as long as we uphold our togetherness, our unison, and our fraternity, no one will be able to make our country kneel. Those who feel enmity against our country will be only doomed to fail. The biggest source of support in the struggle for us is our nation, because our nation throughout history has always never paid respect to those who worked for the better of the nation, and this nation never forgets who produces, and this nation will always give the due lesson to those who think ill of our country. And we know that there are some within the country and outside the country who are expecting for us to give up, but we will disappoint them, and we will continue to work day and night to bring in further services and investments into our country. No handicap and no obstacle put in front of us within the country and outside the country will not make us turn back away from our path. I would like to underline one fact. With our relations with the EU, we have always been interested in finding solutions through dialogue and have always portrayed good intentions. But despite our efforts, we do not find their attitudes right, because the well-established relations of a state and a union should not be victimized for the wrongdoings of a single country. The EU intentionally is drawn into a vicious circle by Greece and Greek Cypriot administration, but the EU should rid itself out of this vicious circle. Isolating Turkey or trying to punish or sanction Turkey because of Turkey's righteous cause will be to no avail. And no matter what happens, Turkey will contribute to the world peace and welfare and the global scale. As we have been doing over the past 18 years, the democratic standards of our country will be carried forward and forward. In the field of law and economy, we are about to complete our economic our reforms, and the investment atmosphere will be even bettered, predictability will be improved, and the hesitations of the investors will be tackled, and we will create the climate for that. We believe in ourselves and we believe in our nation. We rely on our potential, but all those partial decisions will not hinder us. Will continue to march on our path towards our goals resolutely. With all these thoughts in mind, I once again hope that Manisa-Akhisar Beltway will be auspicious for our city, for our region, and for the country. I would like to congratulate the ministry, the DG, and all subcontracting and contracting companies, all engineers and workers, everyone who contributed to the completion of the project. I would like to share my love and respect with each and every one of you. Again, thank you very much. Stay in health. And now, you have the ribbon to cut, you have the scissors, and you will keep those scissors as souvenirs for today. And we send our greetings to you all from Istanbul.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, Akhisar'dan selamlarımızı, saygılarımızı iletiyoruz. İnşallah bu yolumuzda Akhisarlılara, Manisalılara ve ülkemize hayırlı uğurlu olsun.